So with Gua Sha, there's various tools that we can use to accomplish that. These are just a few. You can even use a basic spoon. This particular one is great for going over the arms. It's got an edge if you want to get into the details of muscle. This one here, these are stone. They will crack if you drop them on something hard. My favorite one is this. It's acrylic. So Gua Sha, the goal of Gua Sha is to release the fascia that's surrounding every cell in our body, but more importantly on someone who's back. Maybe they've never had a massage, or they're in sports and they're doing a racket sport and it's one-armed, where they get really tight on that side. So this releases fascia, which is like, imagine a big piece of saran wrap over her back. And this is just a scraping of the skin. Traditional Gua Sha originated in China, and a lot of acupuncturists use it, and they typically use it locally. So the way I've adapted the Gua Sha method for my practice is recognizing the muscles in the back and the layers. So the trapezius muscle comes down the neck, down the side here for the middle portion, and then down into this portion of the back. So that whole thing is the trapezius. Underneath of the trapezius is the rhomboid, the teres minor and major, and the latissimus dorsi comes from the low back. It's another superficial muscle, comes from the low back up into the arm, attaches actually on the front side of the arm. So if you have a back injury, your brain will tell the muscles in the back to tighten up over this, and the latissimus gets caught up in this aponeurosis, which then pulls down on the shoulder, and all of a sudden you have shoulder problems, and you're wondering, how did that happen? So Gua Sha on the superficial muscles first will allow the saran wrap, that outer layer of saran wrap, to come off. And I just lightly go over the top portion, just releasing the back and the fascia. Once I go over the muscles, the top layer of muscle, and I'm being very general right now at first, and then as that releases, I can already see a change in this side of her back. I typically do one side at a time, so you can feel what the difference is when you have one side done and not the other. So following this all the way up, and then following the latissimus, and you want to go with the grain. Then I think, and put my intention down to the rhomboids, releasing these. And I do it in a couple of different directions because there are other muscles, that little ones, that go in the other directions. There. Then you can come through the tricep, which gets caught in the latissimus dorsi. So if you're trying to release that latissimus dorsi, it may not release unless you get this piece of tricep off of that latissimus. The Gua Sha does bring up redness in the areas, and I'm going to go to the infraspinatus. And release that. You can position the arm with the hand on the low back. That will allow the wing to come up, and then you can very specifically get on the edge, on the under edge of the subscapularis. Would be the easiest way to get to that.